Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai, Bahashar Kodash. I want to give double honor to our elder apostles and elder bishops, great millstone, well, peace and blessings, health and wellness, and house of everything lay. No brother falls out the truth in vain. No brother falls out the truth in vain. And it's something I had on my spirit after watching videos about a particular Jake that basically fell out as being a reprobate. Alright, just saying all type of madness, man. Alright, so I'm watching the brother in the Des Moines camp, the Iowa camp. Alright, he did a video response. Alright, so I'm thinking about it, and me being in the same camp as that particular individual, like, yeah, that's accurate, man. Like, no brother falls out in vain. When it hits the fan and it makes the GMS news, alright, quote unquote, alright, it makes it look like he just up and fell out, or he did this one thing and fell out. You know, usually that one thing would be adultery, but outside of that, nah, it's usually ongoing things that cause the brother to fall out. Alright, years have really been a demon, man. Especially if the brother had pulled. Alright, no brother falls out in vain, man. And the things that you don't see happen create the illusion it did not happen. So if you didn't see the brother in dozens of councils, literally dozens and dozens of councils, then it's gonna create the illusion that we had a disagreement and they just fell out. Nah, man. Brothers have demons that they don't conquer. Brothers are prideful, man. Okay. Alright, because like I said, once again, a lot of other brothers will fall out because one brother that they love fell out, but they didn't even know the real person. We often use this analogy in the camp. You got a Jake, they got 10 disgruntled baby mamas, and they all saying the same thing about him, right? You got 10 baby mamas, and they all saying the same thing about you. He never there for his kids, alright? He don't do nothing, he don't give us money, he don't do nothing, he just this, that, he crazy, all this shit, right? Cause you know how women are, right? But he say, they all saying the same thing about him, alright? Here you are, the new girlfriend, alright, and you're hearing these women say the same thing about this man, and yet you feel like, that's just them. You feel me? Not seeing something happen, create the illusion it didn't happen, alright? But guess what's gonna happen years down the road? You're gonna be the 11th baby mama most likely. They say the same thing about him, alright? So, like I said, no brother falls out in vain, man. In our camp specifically, we have counsels according to the scriptures. Alright? Pride go before a fall, man. A lot of times, your own flaws as a man doesn't even cause you to fall out the truth. It's your pride when you can't be rebuked on your flaws, man. Alright? Or your tendencies or your habits, or you fell into a temptation, so you are in a space in your mind that's causing you to not be productive in the spirit, man. Or you might be productive on videos, but you might not be productive as a man. Your actions are not fruitful, alright? So you have all these counsels that really make an effort to shake you out of it, because no brother is exempt from having spirits on them, man, or falling into a temptation, whether you've been in the truth 6 months to 16 years, man, 20 years, alright? We can all fall into a temptation, man, alright? And we're supposed to examine ourselves, and one thing that, I'm learning, and you step out your comfort zone, be willing to be uncomfortable to grow, because if you're never uncomfortable, you're going to be stuck in the same mindset, and growth requires being uncomfortable, and growth requires a mindset change. A lot of times, in order to change your circumstances, you have to change your mindset, In order to change your circumstances, you have to change your mindset, man. Alright, but if you're not willing to grow, you got the same mindset that you had coming into this truth. Alright? Let's say you woke up at 15 years old. You came into the truth 19th grade. So, as a 19th grader, even if you are a man of the Lord, you are a man in the 19th grade, 14, 15. But you still have certain boyish tendencies. You might have certain boyish tendencies in certain areas of your life, which is perfectly natural. But now you're 21 years old. If you still got some of these tendencies, these boyish tendencies that you had when you was 14, 15, all right? Do you think that's beneficial for you as a man? That's it's gonna stand out, all right? And brother's gonna rebuke you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. Not to just make you feel like shit, but it's to grow you, to develop you, all right? Or some of us, we came into the truth at 18, 19 years old, and we never experienced certain things the average person at 18, 19-year-old would experience. We experienced it later. So now, the fact that you didn't live in the world, things that you would have experienced at 18, 19, 20, you might be experiencing it around 30, all right? And you might have a immature reaction to certain things because you are experiencing it late. So that's going to come a rebuke, and that's going to come a reproof. But that also came with the sacrifice you made of unplugging from the world at an early age. But everything has its byproduct. Like, that's a byproduct of you, leaving the world spiritually for Yahweh Shema Shai, that you might be late on certain things. You might not be up on certain things. Certain things that brothers fell into when they were teenagers, you falling for it in your 20s, all right, or 30s. It's like a Jake, all right? I've seen interviews with Jake of being in the penitentiary since they were 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. They get out the penitentiary at 40 years old, 38 years old. So now they got these young man tendencies about them that they should have outgrown, but they were never in the world to really outgrow those tendencies. They got a young man disposition mentally. All right, they have a childish reaction to certain things because they've never got an opportunity to develop in certain areas of their life. Same thing with us. All right, I came into the truth at a relatively young age, right? 18, all right? So I understand there's certain things about myself I have to work on to be willing to be rebuked on, because it really comes from shit. You really didn't, all you did was being the truth. You never went to college, you know what I mean? There's certain things you didn't experience when you got in your upper 20s. So now you might have a reaction to certain things that's really a younger man would have that same reaction, you know? Or it's certain flaws you have about yourself because you didn't have your dad in your house. So I'm just talking in general to brothers, like, you gotta understand where these flaws come from. Like, you may not have had your dad, because women cobbler kids, they sort of nourish kids when a dad pushes a child. Or you might misunderstand certain things, like, for example, adversity. You might think, oh, this particular trial in your life, it is set up for the Most High. All right, these little stumbling blocks you have, it is part of your trial, but really it's there for you to navigate through adversity. So certain things you have to be patient, let the Most High get you out that situation. But other things, it requires counsel. It requires counsel, research, because really you got to start learning how to navigating through adversity. Start being a problem solver. See, that's a thing that's something that's really key to my growth and key to growth in general. Start being a problem solver, man. Don't just let little earthly problems add up in your life and add to your stress. Start through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, first of all, but just through logic and practicality, start being a problem solver. Don't run from problems. And it's something that was brought to my attention. I'm like, damn, you know? Start being a problem solver. Even little things in life, little car problems, little phone problems. Stop letting things accumulate. And it's built to your stress. But growth comes with a mindset change. You see, that right there is an example of a mindset change. You went from not embracing problems or ignoring problems or interpreting problems as, well, just part of my temptation, to being a problem solver. And it is everyday personal advice. All right? Well, all these things I named, when brothers see certain things in you and they might bring it to your attention, it's gonna hurt, but it's okay. Because actually it's good if it hurts. It's when it stop hurting your ego and your spirit when you through. Unless you're just a spiritually healthy brother where you're just totally grateful that you got rebuked. But oftentimes it's not gonna feel good because, for one, if it's a demon in you, the demon gonna get agitated in the council. So you gotta control your spirit. Your lips might get dry, like that demon is being conjured up, you know? But the point is, man, alright? These things are often being called out before, brother. Like, these things are off these character flaws and these tendencies and these spirits that might influence you. They get called out in counsel. But if you feel that brothers don't qualify to tell you nothing or whatever it may be, alright? After several times, that's what caused a brother to get kicked out. Because now, you a counselor in the camp. So if you can't get the counselor removed from you as the counselor have to get removed from the camp. You become the counselor. And we can all become the counselor. That's why we have to pray to Yahweh Bashma Shai that he takes down his Holy Spirit from us. Because it's not about how much you read. It's not about how many lessons you do. Alright? It's about fear the Most High, keep his commandments, love thy neighbors, love thyself, fight the good fight of faith, man. And I always tell yourself that you're not Yahweh Shai. If you feel like it's hard to get rebuked or it's hard to get reproved, your spirit get all fucked up, your ego get all, that's common. It's a common temptation. But you gotta, the greater thou art, the more thou humble thyself. And one thing that I've been telling myself, I'm not Yahweh Shai, man. You know, you might have a rank, you know, you might be a leader or some shit, right? So that might get to your flesh like, nah, man, I'm not above rebuke. And that mindset saves you. You know? Because if you put barriers around your spirit and can't nobody tell you nothing, all right? The problem is everybody that's telling you something, not you. Well, outside of falling out, just as a man, you're going to be at a very low point, man. Because it is humbling to be considered a smart guy, to kind of, you know, be a guy that, you know, take care of his business in life. And now you're at a point in your life where you're going through trials, or you've been rebuked, or you're just not used to losing in certain areas of your life. All right? But those areas are a result that you have to have a certain character trait developed in you. Because all because you're smart, all because you kind of have yourself together in a sense, that doesn't mean you got other flaws that need to be exercised out of you. You got certain traits in you that have to be exercised in you. All right? It's one thing to have intelligence, or it's one thing to be smart or have good sense, but it's another thing to have tenacity and discipline and self-control and persistence. All right, and a mindset that it's okay to fail, but just keep going. Don't give up. The mindset, I don't know everything. The mindset that there's always room for growth. The mindset that anybody can correct me. Those things save a man and allow that man to grow. The mindset, I'm not Yahweh Shai. I'm not even the apostles over us, man. Alright? I'm not Elder Apostles of Heart. They have their systems, how they handle each other, but I'm not Elder Apostles of Heart. Certain things, you gotta accept that certain things they may not have stumbled over. You stumbled over it. Alright, but that's part of your story. You might not be as strong as the men that you've learned from. You might have certain areas where you're embarrassingly weak. Like, damn, I stumbled over that. I ain't hear nobody else say they stumbled over it. It's okay. That's part of your legacy. Legacies come with low points. That's another lesson. Legacies come with low points. It is not to enable you to constantly be weak, you know, but we men have low points, man. That's part of your legacy. That's part of the story that's written. King David, he's a legend. But you saw what King David did. He committed a sin worthy of death. And that was, not only was it a sin worthy of death, it was dishonorable what he did. But he's still a legend. And I speak as a man. I speak as a man. I'm just speaking as a man. But the Most High is just. So for the Most High to allow that to happen with the man that he put on the front line, that man on the front line may have done something in his past life, and that was part of the grand scheme of the Most High. once again, I just spoke as a man. It's just an opinion of mine, a theory. But the point is, man, all right, no brother falls out in vain, and none of us are above reproof, and we all have to understand that we not Yahweh Shai, man. And like I said, I've been in councils, man, and you can sound like a bitch in council. Like, why is he justifying himself? Why is he but? All right, but we got to get used to being rebuked. Pray to Yahweh Shai to let us, all right, show ourselves men in every aspect of our lives, man. All right, but with that, I hope you brothers are edified. Till the next time, shalom.